Live.
All
I
right.
don't even have the
Hello.
game up.
What? What did you do?
I didn't. I just realized I didn't have the game up.
Oh my god.
I may be stupid.
Come on, Twitch. You can do it. Twitch? Keep saying you're live and then being like, oh, load back error or some shit. I'm like, hello?
Hello? I'm live
Hello?
now.
Yeah, you are live. I see it. You are. Twitch is just being a dick on my end, I guess. Woo. I love how my YouTube recommended is now full of our flag means death meme videos.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm completely fine with it. There's another one here. It's like our flag means death. Izzy Hands being jealous. It's just like a whole last 2 minutes.
Hello, Sharky. I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Hello.
Welcome, welcome. Where did I put my... Why did I put my water all the way over here? Oh, I'm
I
dangerously
don't
low.
know. Why did you?
I'm dangerously low on water.
Goodness.
I have to get water on when I get up. I got 3 water bottles, all with about 2 sips left in each. I don't know why I keep doing this to myself.
God. I wish on Hero Forge you could just put notches in a single ear.
Yeah. Like select 2 different ears. You can select 2 different ears.
Yeah. Like, I have a specific idea.
Ah.
However, Hero Forge cannot. Like, Hero Forge is great. However, it's also incredibly limited.
Oh, that doesn't sound very fun, Sharky. I'm very sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
There's a fucking... this Wobble Dog that just got posted in the Wobble Dog server. Its name is Unsettling, and it moves like a fucking centipede.
Oh my fucking god. Come on, come on. Show me this dog. Show me this lovely. Oh. Oh no!
The person that posted him said, "It's the way he walks is what's unsettling."
It really is. He like fell over, then had to get himself back up in like the most horrific way possible.
He's got legs like a daddy long legs.
He
I don't
does.
think his middle legs touch the ground.
The toes do, and they kind of get dragged.
There's something so appealing about, and I'm very sorry of that I've been like obsessed with wobble dogs lately, but like I'm also not sorry at the same time. Here, I'll show you. There's something very appealing about the default dog in Wobble Dogs, and it's really fucking funny when you compare it to whatever monstrosities you get during your game.
It's genuinely hilarious.
Here is Unsettling.
There you are, unsettling. Oh, look at him go.
Look at him fucking go. He's got a teeny tiny head and very large spindly legs and a long fucking body. A lot of things wrong with this dog.
Normal ass dog in the back.
Just the fucking normal ass dog in the back is actually sending me. He's just trotting along. I'm not ready. Okay, buzzing. I desperately want to know what I'm not ready for. I'm gonna turn the game volume up a little bit because it's a little low.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for the hydrate. I'm gonna everybody hydrate. Dehydrate.
All right.
I want to meet Herlock already.
I also want to meet Herlock.
That's what I'm here for.
Also, I'm like in Hero Forge, sticking around trying to make this goblin. I just thought of a name. Mushroom.
A mushroom name would be very good.
Mushroom.
If I tell you it'll dilute the live slug reaction, what does that mean?
Live slug. That is the best way you could have possibly put that.
Good fucking god.
Live slug reaction.
I'm gonna desperately try to get some more voice talent on this call.
Desperately, yeah. Hello?
I'll be here for like.
Hey, Sprit.
But I will help.
Thank you.
No problem.
Could you get closer to your mic a little bit?
Hey. I just have to like lean up to it. Just wow.
Ace Attorney used to be our thing, and the kid's about to reject me again.
Oh my god. Oh my god, that wobble dog that's in the channel. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's unsettling. It's not my dog. It was in the server.
Unsettling is about right.
the owner specifically said it's how he moves is what's unsettling.
Yeah.
There's another one in the Wobble Dog server called Rare Steak, who is like hot dog pink is the best way to describe the color of this dog.
Yes.
Your dogs can get horns and wings, and I really want my dogs to get wings. Live slug reaction's a pretty fucking good meme.
It really is.
Oh, I did not mean to click on that. Alright, I'm gonna run to the restroom. Wait, do I have stream labels open? I didn't. I didn't have it open. Okay, now stream levels is open. Thank you, Care. I'm gonna run to the restroom, and then we're gonna get started with Great Ace Attorney Case 2, which I'm really pumped for. All right, BRB.
Yeah. Too bad you can't get them.
All right, whores, I'm back.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Let's fucking go to the game, shall we?
Ooh.
I just remembered my hand tracker was on the ground. All right. Let's get into it, shall we?
Yeah.
All right. Yes. The Adventure of the Unbreakable Speckled Band.
In a corner of that small, dark room, Sholmes and I waited with bated breath. In time, there came from the ventilator a hiss and a soft, almost growl-like sound. Suddenly, Sholmes sprang into action, lashing furiously with his cane at a point in the darkness. "You see it, Wilson?" he yelled, his tense voice reverberating through the air. I raised my dark lantern's shutter, and the room slowly came into view. Sholmes was staring intently at one particular corner when he started whispering to me. The victim's most perplexing final words. The Speckled Band. I believe this is the terrible coil to which you referred, Wilson. In front of us was an enormous adder, its fangs bared as it threatened to strike. It truly was the most terrible speckled band I had ever seen.
Yo?
Mm.
I had to go frantically message Moss.
Yeah.
So I was like, yo, they're doing a fucking Sherlock Holmes case at the start of this thing. It's
Let us unravel this mystery
it's him!
and discover what events.
Oh my god, we animated.
Pray, do excuse me. The cabin door was bolted from the inside when the man was killed. No marks to suggest the bolt was tampered with in any way. So, this would appear to be a locked room mystery. In his final moments, the victim scrawled a message on the floor. Almost certainly with the ink from this upset bottle. A Russian word. So the victim was a Russian man then. And the letters are well formed, suggesting he was compos mentis at the time. This is a most extraordinary
Yeah.
script.
What?
And indeed, not parents. In fact, I deduce it was written by someone of a different nationality.
Oh my god, he has a sir.
This paper seal was placed just prior to the incident by the victim himself, I would venture.
I love him.
Well, what have we here?
I love him.
Who are you, and what do you think you're doing here?
Heavy?
We must touch before maritime police come. We must wait. That won't be necessary. Less than 5 seconds from now, I will reveal the killer to you.
What? Don't be absurd. This is murder. And in cabin locked from inside.
Ah yes,
He
the locked
sounds
room.
like
But that
fucking
mystery.
He sounds like Heavy.
Yeah.
You don't mean the culprit is in there?
Who are you, and where have you come from? I'm a great British consultant detective, the only one in the world. Sherlock Holmes. I presume you must have heard of me.
I'm in love with you, sir. Make out with me now, please.
Why they make him so pretty?
They made him so fucking pretty.
He's Sherlock Holmes, bitches.
They made him so fucking pretty.
I'm sorry, he's Sherlock Holmes.
My head is throbbing. What's going on?
Did we get
Something's not
Frank?
right here. There's trouble in the air.
Are you once again being accused? Is this entire
fuck are
fucking
we
Again?
Is this entire game us defending ourselves?
It's like, huh?
Wait, I can't move. Oh my god, you might be right. Hold on, I gotta move I gotta move my avatar because I am in the way of the text. What the? Why am I in handcuffs?
Oh my god, this entire game is just you defending yourself.
Jesus Christ.
This might be a. Do you want a voice of Moss?
Oh god, fuck, hang on, I'm making a BLT but with a corn tortilla. Hang on, I'll be right there. Sorry, I'm getting dinner.
This is like running.
I'm coming.
Going.
I'm good.
Going.
Oh god, I'm
Yeah,
home,
buddy.
home. So you wake up now, hmm?
Oh no, it's the
Look
sailor.
at me.
We had to drag you out of the wardrobe.
Hi, Icarus.
I do not believe how you could not wake up. You are a true cold-blooded man. You found me then. Duh, we found you. And now you pay. Why did they spell that with a K? Criminal. So long you are hiding in that tiny wardrobe, sorry. Now you have been found, it is time to admit your crimes. Unless you want to find out how cold the ocean is, No, I'll tell you everything. I think this is him.
Oh god, I'm in the other room again.
God damn it.
I'm coming. There's only one thing I'd like to know from you.
Isn't that... Oh, god damn it, it's not.
A fucking tread over there, like, it's him, boss! And then it was like, no, it's
It is not
like,
him.
no!
It's not him.
Oh, fuck.
I've been burned by you before.
Why did you do it? Why did you take his life?
Miss Sato? Wait, what did you just say? Take his life? Where is he? Where's Kaz- Oh no.
Oh.
I was right.
Oh.
Wait, right about what?
Where's Kazuma? You
Is he
pretend you do not know. You are a wolf in sheep's pelts. You are the killer. Do not try to make excuses. What?
Kazuma-sama's body was discovered not long ago.
God damn it. I was thinking we'd get like at least like one more case with him.
Nah, it's a Mia situation.
He's on the box art. Alright, Susato, are you gonna channel his spirit and then turn into him? That would be weird.
Probably.
Buzzing said Ryunosuke is really a combo of Phoenix and Maya. He's got Phoenix dumb lord brain and charm, but Maya's propensity to get blamed for shit.
Yeah. Here, in this very cabin that was bolted shut on the inside.
His body? Please. Do not try to tell us you were doing this terrible thing in your sleep. Kazuma's dead? But he can't be. And these handcuffs... Surely you don't think I
have to know. Why did you take Why did you take Kazuma-sama's life?
You're a little quiety.
Ow!
I don't know, but you are.
Ow! Answer me, please.
No.
Well, the thing is, I didn't, bitch.
I'm ow.
Ow!
Ow.
Ow.
Ow!
I forget what's the fucking meme like the Howl's Moving Castle meme, but they didn't remember the
Oh yeah, Tony Hawk's Moving Castle.
Tony Hawk's Moving Castle. I don't remember the guy's name. Howl? Ow?
Ow!
Wait.
Kazuma.
Also, T-Mac won.
Oh, cool.
I'm gonna be a fucking Gundam baby!
I forgot to vote.
Dang it.
Oh, Logan.
I wanted Team Monster. Sorry.
I like Team Monster, except for Titan looked better.
I thought Team Monster was more creative. Team Mech just kind of looked dang.
Whatever, I get to be a fucking robot, and that's all that matters.
Very fair. It was just 2 short weeks ago. Are you sure about this? Won't we get in trouble? Oh yeah, I'm him also. Don't you find it fun being a stowaway? Besides, how else would you come to England with me to study? It was really something else when they brought your luggage in here early, though. The way that Russian crewman just tossed your traveling case onto the floor? I thought I was gonna die. Yes, I still can't quite believe that. I really didn't think you'd be able to fit inside my trunk. You must be even less of a man than you look.
Jesus.
Jesus Christ. Hey, honestly, I thought I'd broken every bone in my body. Well, it's about 50 days until we dock in Great Britain. But if you confine yourself to my cabin here, I don't expect anyone will discover you. I hope not. I get the feeling those Russians wouldn't be very forgiving of a stowaway. They're a sturdy bunch, that's for sure. What I want to know is, where's the caveman? Why do we need to keep it a secret from the young lady? From our faithful judicial assistant Mikotoba, you mean? From your close friend, more to the point, surely we could confide in her, couldn't we? I don't believe she'd give me away. No, but if she knew what we'd done, that would make her guilty by association. It's best that only you and I know about this. I suppose so. Anyway, it's about time that the steward is supposed to come and clean the cabin. I know it's cramped, but you better get in there, I think. Won't be for long. And anyway, compared to hiding inside my traveling case, it'll be a breeze. Yeah, but what if the steward decides to open the wardrobe for some reason? Then I'll be in for it. Stop worrying. I tell you what, why don't you write keep out or something on this piece of paper? What? Then I can stick it over the wardrobe doors once you're inside. I don't know. We've only been at sea for about 15 days. How can this have happened? We were supposed to be going on this adventure to England together. We leave you at next port. Stay quiet until then. Don't make more trouble for yourself. Murderer.
Oh, my husband.
I'm not a murderer. You said before. You said you admit everything about your crimes. No, that's not right. I mean, yes, I did stow away on the ship, but murdering my best friend? No one else could have done it. Admit the truth. Sasato-san. Please, tell me what happened. I need to know.
Very well. But there is something I would like to ask of you two.
Those eyes. She looks like she's ready to destroy me. This nightmare's getting worse by the minute. I suppose all I can do is try to find out what really happened. Oh, cool. You get dialogue options now.
Yeah.
He really has been killed, hasn't he? Oh fuck! I just knocked over my water. The lid was closed.
Oh, thank fuck.
Also, I keep my water on the side of the desk opposite of the electronics.
I just get worried.
I know.
I was gonna take a nap, but then Herlock Sholmes.
Sherlock Holmes, baby.
Also night nap.
This isn't just a bad dream. And these handcuffs, they think I did it? They think I'm Kazuma's killer?
When I found him, the cabin was locked from the inside.
What do you mean?
There's no access to the cabin via a portal window, and the bolt on the door can't be operated from the outside. In other words, after the crime, the culprit couldn't have escaped these four walls.
What?
Or to put it another way, the culprit can only have been somebody inside this cabin.
But there's a vent right
There's
there.
literally
Yeah,
there's literally a vent.
You're like looking right at that thing.
fucking,
Yeah, like,
he just like kind of like looks up because, like,
this
my
points
hands
at
will
it,
try just like
there.
like that right
That?
there, that right there.
I have a class in 2 minutes. Fuck.
Okay.
I said I know the people to help for a little bit. I'm so weak.
Oh.
All right, bye.
Traitor.
How dare he have class?
I know.
Or do you have some other explanation?
There's a vent right there. Jesus Christ, cheesecake. Jesus Christ, cheesecake. I fed him, by the way.
I believe you.
I gave them food.
We just hear this is how.
This is impossible. How did he die then? What happened exactly?
Are you still going to deny the charges, even despite the circumstances?
Please, Sasada-san, you have to tell me.
You're about to say yes, of course.
I was not.
The cause of death is still undetermined.
There's just like a big ass gunshot wound in the back of his head. They don't know how he died?
The ship's doctor is examining the body, but of course he has no post-mortem analysis because analysis experience. I don't suppose we shall learn more until the expert has been consulted at our next port of call.
So, presumably that means there were no obvious external signs of injury then?
That's true, yes.
So the options would be he could have been poisoned and locked it from the inside. There's some blood there. There's like 50 different things it could be.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand. Why are people in this universe so stupid?
Well, this is like ye olden times.
That's true, but why would you jump to murder? Like, hello?
Well, I think it's because he wrote down something in Russian.
Oh, that's true.
So like then it would be like, well, that would be a weird thing to write if it wasn't murder. Like,
that's what you think, but I don't know.
he's having a fucking heart attack. He just starts writing in Russian.
Your brain gets scrambled.
Even though he's Japanese.
Well, your brain gets scrambled. You never know.
Can't anyone tell me what exactly happened here in this cabin? I don't understand it. Why would anyone want to kill Kazuma?
Presumably, that's something you know the answer better than anyone.
No!
No!
Oh yeah, Buzzing said it's the 19th century. All the brain cells are being used for racism.
Oh shit, you're right. Don't forget the sexism.
Oh, and the sexism. Please.
Whatever you say, you were here in this cabinet.
Well, yeah, I
You have
was.
so much
but-
faith in your friends.
Well, they barely knew each other.
Oh, that's true. This isn't like Maya.
He would always wake before dawn to do his training first thing in the morning. I was waiting outside his cabin, as I have every day so far on this voyage.
I think she had a thing for him.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get comfortable.
But this morning, he did not come. I could sense that he wouldn't.
Does that mean he was already dead when Sasada-san arrived at his cabin door, I wonder?
I knocked, but there was no reply. Then I started to become worried, so I went to find a member of the crew. The crewman forced the cabin door open, and we managed to get inside. There was Kazuma-san. Sama collapsed on the floor. Why would he write in Russian, though?
Yeah, that's my thing. Does he even know Russian?
Would he have even written that? I don't think he wrote that.
Yeah, I actually, yeah, I'm with you. I like, my very first thought, like, was, once I realized it was Kazuma, was like, what if the killer wrote that?
That was in one of my favorite episodes of Forensic Files.
Yay.
Oh shit, I forgot to flip my bacon.
And the white tape there now shows exactly where he was found, I suppose. I had no idea anything had happened. I must have been asleep in the wardrobe somehow.
I wish it was, but that's just very hard to believe.
Wish you'd suck a dick and listen to me.
Be nice.
No.
This is all very hard to believe for me too, trust me. I was wondering why my avatar looks so still, and then I think I realized, I think when I switched to the new one, I didn't turn on the wind effect. Hold up.
Shaking my head at you.
Apologies for menus that you're about to see.
Apology, not if that's a regular plastic bag.
Oh no, wind is on. Just not seeing it super well. There we go. It's all very hard for me to believe too, trust me.
I've told you everything that I know. So it's my turn to ask you a question.
You're gonna ask why I did it again, I swear to God. Yeah, alright. Head feels so heavy.
Was he drugged?
Why are you even aboard this ship, Nora? You said something before about being a stowaway, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. I'm afraid that's true. It's 2 weeks since we left Japan now, and I've been shut up in this cabin the entire time. Crinkle, crinkle.
Sorry, I'm doing the cat litter.
I had no idea. But how could you have a Kazuma-san was captured for so long without him? Stop that.
No, that would have been impossible, obviously.
Yes, of course.
Kazuma invited me. He wanted us to go to England together.
He actually asked you. Why?
Because we were gay lovers, Susato. If you want the honest answer.
Who are a little homosexual.
I'm afraid I don't know the reason myself.
Gay.
I don't understand.
Kazuma, why do you want this? What's the real reason?
I'm in love with you, you idiot.
Why go to such extreme lengths to smuggle me to England with you?
So we can be together.
It's an idea that's been on my mind ever since the end of that incredible trial. I think I told you then, didn't I? That you ought to become a lawyer yourself? Well, yeah, you did say that, but I didn't think you were serious. You have a talent for it, I can assure you of that. But I've never really thought about becoming a lawyer. Well, that's something you can decide for yourself. London is at the spearhead of cultural development, the center of the world in many ways. There can't be any harm.
Unfortunately, racism.
There can't be any harm in seeing such an important place with your own eyes, can there? Well, no, definitely not. But on a personal level, if you were to become a lawyer, then what? Nothing. Forget it.
Custom is, he was always saying the same thing. But he wanted to change the Japanese legal system. Perhaps he thought that he could do that with you.
Maybe. Something's still bothering me a little. The look in his eyes, then. It was darker than I've ever seen it before. Susato-san. I'm sorry we kept it a secret from you. My stowing away on the ship, I mean.
And my gayness.
And my gayness. If I... Oh, that's you.
If I know Kazuma-san, I expect that he was trying to protect me, to avoid me becoming guilty by association.
That's exactly right, yeah. Word perfect, in fact.
If you're not the culprit, then tell me. What happened last night here in this cabin?
Bitch, I don't know.
Well, the thing is... I don't really remember. Kazuma brought me something to eat, just like he always did. And then I got myself into that wardrobe over there, just like I always did. After that, I...
Fall asleep?
Well, yeah.
So deeply that you didn't even stir when Kazuma-sama was killed.
Well, yeah. I know it sounds unbelievable, really I do. If I'd only woken up, then perhaps I wouldn't be in this predicament. And for some reason, my head's still throbbing like anything.
Really?
Is something wrong?
Oh, no, it's... Please forget it.
Susato-san, you have to believe me. I didn't do it.
I really don't want to doubt you. But the trouble is, there's no one else who could possibly have done this.
Kazuma, I don't understand. Why did this have to happen? I can't take this.
Don't try to go anywhere. You're the perpetrator of this crime. You can't leave. I can't allow that to happen.
You can't stop.
I'm sorry. Kazuma was killed right under my nose here, and I didn't do anything to stop it. And now I'm supposed to just sit around, my hands tied, while whoever did this walks free? No! I can't allow that to happen!
Well, what do you propose to do then?
I'm gonna investigate. I'm gonna find out exactly what happened here. I'm gonna work out who took Kazuma's life and why they did it. So I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to excuse me. Oh. Never fucking mind. What the?
That was a Susato takedown.
A Susato what? What martial art form is that?
I'm going to need you to prove it.
Oh, that I'm innocent? Sorry, prove it?
Yes, your innocence. I need evidence.
But how am I supposed to?
Have you forgotten already what you achieved just a few weeks ago? You successfully defended yourself in the court of law.
Ah, I see. She's expecting me to present some conclusive evidence. I have to get Susato-san to believe me. I'll show her evidence right now that proves I'm not guilty of this awful crime.
Oh, because that would be over where you were in.
Yeah.
You couldn't have put that on yourself.
You're right.
I know.
Yes!
Tell me, when I was discovered in the wardrobe before, was this piece of paper stuck over the doors?
Oh, yes, it was. I remember clearly.
I thought so. Kazuma always put it in place whenever I went to sleep in there. Just in case the cabin steward or another crew member decided to look inside. So naturally, he did the same last night as well.
Ah. Yes, of course. The gentleman who just left you, he feel that sign for the wardrobe doors before he opened it.
But if I were truly the culprit, I couldn't have climbed back inside the wardrobe and stuck this on the outside of the doors of my own.
Yes, that's quite true.
In other words, it's impossible that I killed Kazuma.
Well, even if you are sprawled hopelessly on the floor, I can see why Kazuma was thought so highly of.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I think. Susato-san. Now, do you think perhaps you could help me up?
Ooh. Well, in the light of that evidence, I don't see any reason why I should stop you from investigating in here at least.
Thank you. So you finally believe me?
I'm sorry. No.
Oh. What?
I'm not sure yet. I can't rule out the possibility that you use some sort of conjuring trick to put the sign back in position.
Ma'am?
Ma'am? What?
What do you mean?
Ma'am? Huh? Ma'am? What does she think I am, a magician?
For now, I suggest you investigate as thoroughly as possible. I'll do the same.
Alright, let's get to work.
Please don't misunderstand me. I still have my doubts.
Oh.
I shall be watching you to make sure you do nothing that might disturb the crime scene.
Understood.
I wonder what you're using your conjuring tricks to destroy this person.
I can't what are you talking about?
Just let her. Just let her have it.
Right. Well, okay then. Anyway, I should make a start on investigating in here, examine everything I.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
God, really just snuck up on you.
Yep. Yep. Kazuma, I swear, I will avenge your death. I knew he was gonna die. Like, I could feel it in me bones, but...
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff to examine. Ooh.
Uh.
Immediately. That's the court record.
What?
How do I...
Eh?
Oh, I guess enter.
I think that's some kind of opening for a ventilator. A hole through which fresh air can circulate into the cabin. Yeah.
Could a person theoretically fit in it? Isn't that a little odd?
What do you mean?
Well, this ventilator, if that's what it is, looks like it must connect to the next door cabin.
Yes, it would appear to. You're right.
But if its purpose is to allow fresh air into the room, surely it should be connected to the outside.
That's true. Perhaps it's so that rain and spray don't find their way in when the seas are rough, or something like that.
I suppose. Maybe that's it.
Oh my god.
Oh dear, that won't do.
What's the matter, Susato-san?
Whenever I'm examining things, I always find myself so focused, I forget to look around.
Yeah, that's not good. I don't suppose you're oh, it's you.
Suppose you're as foolish as me about what you're focused on.
Why are you so quiet, D?
I don't know!
I have you up to 200.
I wouldn't be able to tell you, my man.
Discord quiet moments.
Yeah, really, Discord quiet moments.
Hold up, let me check. Let me check my sound settings.
Yeah, did you? Yeah?
I'll let you know that Cheesecake is once again in my arms. He has forced his
Nah,
way up here.
nice.
God help me, this fucking cat. I love you so much, dude. I know.
Okay, well, I fucked around a little bit, and I don't think I found anything that would fix this.
Yeah, like, I don't know.
You also kind of keep cutting out a little bit.
That's just my mic being a bitch. I don't know why it does that. I have my sensitivity all the way up.
Weird.
Ow!
Why do you be like that?
Alright. Come on. Stop it.
Oh my god, it's literally just I already did that.
We
I literally
already did
I had to do that.
We already did that.
Yeah, let's do that thing I was already doing. Because my field of vision has been rather small until now. Good Lord, I already did that.
Lort.
Lord Almighty.
This is... Yes, it's a bell cord contraption, I think.
What do you mean contraption?
I read about it in a book. I was studying it that talked about life in Great Britain. Large households often have bell cords like this, which you can pull to ring a bell to summon servants.
Really? That sounds almost magical.
Come on, dude.
Look at her cute little face. I love her.
It's just so cute.
She's very cute. Shall we give it a try?
Yes. In the interest of cultural research, obviously.
I love her. I love her.
I suppose nobody comes for lowly Japanese people.
Oh, dude.
Oh.
No, I'm sure it's just that everyone's busy, that's all. Oh, cool. It checks things off now when I've looked at them.
Oh, cool.
That's very helpful. That's extremely helpful.
Why are you licking my phone?
Delicious.
It's some 2 weeks since we set sail from Japan. Have you really been living in that wardrobe the entire time, Naruto-san?
I think living isn't quite the right description. How are you going to the bathroom? I mean,
Oh, no, I suppose not.
After all, you had to stop your bodily functions.
Although it must have been rather exciting making this voyage in your own secret hideout.
the trouble was I never knew when a member of the crew might come in. So yeah, I did basically have to live in the wardrobe. Last night was no exception.
But because of that, you had no idea what was happening out here in the cabin.
No. Sadly not.
What is wrong with you?
A lot.
Sorry, he's being so fucking needy.
I swear and I promise that I fed him. Gave him 2 scoops even.
You wanna go take a nap? You wanna cuddle? Say, baby boy. He's a good boy.
This is where dear Kazuma-sama would have sat.
Oh, she had a thing for him.
She had a thing for him. Definitely had a thing for him. London Diary. Or Kazuma. He didn't even make it to his destination.
There we go. Alright, I'm back. It looks as though the last entry is incomplete.
Oh, I know that binding type. Sorry, I looked at the book's binding. I was like, "Ooh, I've seen that before." I've seen that kind of binding before. That's it's Japanese style binding. It's very pretty, but it also leads to the spines like that where, you know, I'm just gonna keep going. Which means what? He was in the middle of writing it when the incident happened? See what it says. It could be a valuable clue.
That's out of question.
No, it's fucking not! This is a murder investigation, Susato! What?
Kazuma-sama may have departed this world, but you must not read his private thoughts.
It could be a clue! What if it's important? Something relevant to the case? Fine, I won't read it. While you're looking.
Oh, Kazuma-sama.
I don't like prying into people's personal matters either. But in this case, isn't the need for clues more important?
Suitcase.
Oh wait. No. Go back.
Ooh.
Damn it, I did it again. You press E to open the court record, but that's like, in most games, E is the use key,
Yeah.
so it's confusing.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's a very large traveling case, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, you were supposed to say that. Carries a lot of memories for me.
Memories? What do you mean?
Well, that's actually how I stowed away on the vessel. I was brought on board inside that case.
Ah, yes, I see. It says this way up in Japanese.
Which, in hindsight, I should have realized the foreign crewman would not be able to read. I was turned over and over and over. And then I was tossed on the floor.
Oh dear, being a stowaway as romantic as it sounds.
Well, it was less painful than a Susato takedown. Did Kazuma write that before he died? Looks like it's written in ink.
He must have knocked the ink pot from the desk when he collapsed on the floor.
Hi, Missile! I'm doing good. I did eat. I have water. I do not have any meds.
Yee!
I suppose he wrote this message by dipping his finger in the spillage? Oh, that's you. God damn it. I keep doing this.
Fuck, okay. Poor Kazuma-sama. No doubt he was in terrible pain. It's almost unbearable to imagine it. What does that even...
So
Did
it's in,
anyone even... Or like, oh, we're gonna read what this says. Oh, it says this. Like, I don't even think anyone even did that.
I think... I used to take Russian. I don't remember any of these letters. I want to say the first one is an R, but I don't know if that's my English brain. Because it's very male white. Very, very well might be.
Very male white.
Very male white.
Very male white be. I suppose he was trying to leave some kind of a clue in his... I'm sitting here like a little Yasosaurus Rex. Hi. I'm sorry, partner. But I can't read your writing.
I don't
No,
think that's
really?
Japanese, Naruto-san. No, really not.
It's 100% not. What? Then what language is it?
Oh my god, Ryunosuke.
It pains me to admit it, but I don't.
Almost a year! Thank you for the resub, Missile. Almost a fucking year. Holy shit. It's not a foreign script I'm familiar with. What does it mean, I wonder? Ah!
Where did you come from?
It's a fucking ghost! Get the broom!
No, wait. You don't have to do that.
Who's that? He wasn't there a minute ago! As far as I can tell, he looks like he might be European.
Very white.
Oh, how did he?
So you noticed the man too, have you? I've no idea who he is or how he got in here. But he looks suspicious. And tall. Suspiciously tall.
Naruto-san, don't tell me. Do you really not know who that is?
No. But he is face
tall.
down, ass up on my best friend's desk.
What you would have wanted.
Buzzing said, "Eek, a European."
Like a European.
Well, no. I don't have any foreign friends or acquaintances at all. Doesn't look like a member of the crew. There's something very unusual about him. I think it's kind of funny, by the way, that they made all of the Russian crew members blonde hair, blue-eyed, when that's very rare in Russia. Most Russians have a very dark complexion, or a pretty dark complexion for being white. And he's investigating Kazuma's desk, or is he just playing on it? I can't tell.
Well, in that case, we simply must talk.
Am I just imagining it, or does Suzaru-san look almost uncontrollably excited?
Should I use my Frederic voice? I feel like I should use my Frederic.
You should definitely use your Frederic voice.
Absolutely.
Excellent, I'm
By
excited.
the way, I expect that you noticed it already, but just in case. If you press that on the people when they're
Press button to button. Hello, Blue Dagon. Sorry.
Hello.
Alright, then I'll get that suspiciously tall gentleman in my sights and see what he has to say for himself.
Suspiciously tall. Oh, please do.
Do you have a crush on him?
Converse.
I don't have Converse yet. I have to space.
There he is.
Excuse me. Excuse me, do you have a moment?
Shh! This is a critical point in my investigation.
Oh, Dagon, very sorry. I was thinking Dagon like Elder Scrolls. Maybe I should leave him alone. He seems a little unfriendly.
Yes, perhaps that would be for the best.
Greetings! I hope I haven't kept you long.
Jesus Christ. What exactly were you doing on Kazuma's desk just now?
Ah, I see. Fascinating.
Sorry? What did you see? Looks like he's looking right through me. White man jump scare.
Oh, yes. Everything is clear now. I figured it out. The train of reasoning has run its course. My deductions have crystallized. You have been in Afghanistan, I perceive. Just recently returned, if I'm not mistaken.
No. Sorry. What?
And now, whilst venturing toward foreign climes, you find yourself in a most troubling predicament.
Well, I mean, okay, yeah, that one's right. Oh! Well, that's true, at least. He's scanning you for his cringe compilation!
But how?
How the deuce did I know that, perhaps? It was really a most elementary deduction, hardly worth explaining.
Okay.
Have you perhaps managed to deduce anything else?
But of course, a great many things. There is no mystery, my dear madam. For example, You have fled your native land of Russia, being as
I'm-
you are a
no.
merciless revolutionary.
I am Japanese.
Very clearly not
You leave
Russian.
16 victims of assassinations in your wake, and now travel to England to blow up the Crystal Tower.
What?
What is that?
Is this okay? I have to Moss as a Sherlock Holmes expert. Is this shit from the books?
The travel to Afghanistan is in fact a reference to the very first time you meet Watson, when you as Watson meet Sherlock Holmes, because you have just returned from Afghanistan as a war doctor, and he's able to determine by the thread in your sleeve that you have stitched up that the thread is from Afghanistan and the stitch you use is a surgeon's stitch, and that is how he's able to deduce that you are a war doctor back from Afghanistan. The Russian mercenary is a reference to, oh god, oh, what is it? Oh no! Hang on. Of course, you fucking goddamn Google doesn't give me anything because it's about the Russia-Ukraine issue right now.
Yeah.
Which support Ukraine, but like I can't remember. But yes, at least 2 of those are in fact references to Sherlock Holmes.
I figured. This is my wife, everybody. I love them.
Hi
guys. my wife is a big Sherlock Holmes fan, which is kind of why I wanted them here for this one.
And when the Bourbon occupant of this very cabin discovered your identity, you ended his life too. Yes, I believe that summarizes the facts beautifully.
It doesn't.
No need to hide the truth now. Nothing deceives these eyes.
I'm Japanese.
I don't even know what Afghanistan is.
Just to be clear, you're talking about me, are you?
Certainly I am. Do you see in this cabin who fits this bill? A Russian assassin with 16 victims to his name.
I love you. I love you.
Fucking nerd, oh my god.
I don't even see one person who fits that bill. Except maybe the guy by the door.
So it's true. Russian!
Very loud.
First of all.
Yeah.
Oh,
Go ahead, read your line, D.
fuck. It was you who did this to Kazuma-sama.
Susato, you know me. We go to school together. I'm not Russian. What?
And you're plotting a revolution too.
What are you talking about? Everybody posture check.
It's shameful behavior, Naruto-san. Absolutely wicked.
No, listen, there's no way I am on the floor.
Now explain yourself. Tell me everything.
This is fucking ridiculous.
How could you do it?
For pity's sake, open your eyes. I'm not a Russian revolutionary, obviously.
Oh, forgive me.
Stop.
As for you, what kind of deduction was that? You were just saying the first thing that came to your head.
But was I not right?
I love
No.
his, like, Johnny Bravo move that he does right there. There he goes, hoo-ha.
Ooh-ha.
Whilst venturing towards boring climes, you do find yourselves in a most troubling predicament. Do you not?
Okay, yeah, you got one thing right out of 40.
You literally got one. Only one.
Yeah, maybe.
Ha! There you have it, you see? What do you make of that?
I... You're very pretty.
This man.
To be honest, this ship is en route to England. I'm in handcuffs at the scene of a murder. So, I'm not really sure you could call it a deduction. It's more of an observation.
Indeed. An observation, my dear boy, is the basis of all deduction.
Oh my fucking god.
My method is founded upon the observation of trifles, you see. I announce my findings with brassy certitude. And more often than not, I'm right.
Ha. I don't think you introduced yourself.
Oh, my apologies. How remiss of me. Will you please let me play my part, dear boy? Thank you. I am none other than the greatest detective of the century, known to men and women and my non-binaries of the world over. The inimitable Herlock Sholmes.
I'm back.
Hello, welcome back.
Where we are.
Herlock Sholmes.
Hey. I like him.
Thank you.
Oh, his theme is playing.
Yeah. So, it's really you, the actual Sherlock Holmes. I keep wanting to say Sherlock.
This music is a fucking bop.
The very same. The inimitable actual Herlock Sholmes.
Wait, did they give him his nose? They gave him his nose, I think.
They gave him his hawk nose?
I think so.
I'll have to like see him at that angle again.
Do you know this guy?
Most famous detective in the world? Naruto-san, of course I do. There's nobody who hasn't heard of him.
I haven't heard of him.
Well, you know, buddy.
What planet have I been living on then?
We must ask him what he's deduced.
Not a lot, it looks like.
He's so excited. He'll have worked out the entire case already, I'm sure.
Really? Why do I feel uneasy about this? Jesus fucking Christ, cheesecake.
What's he yelling about?
I don't know! So, you're a great detective, are you? Sorry, what was your name again?
Indeed, I am none other than the one and only Herlock Sholmes.
You're very pretty.
Thank
He
you.
is very pretty.
I see. You're German? Herlock, was it?
Ha!
No. I have no hair. I mean, I have hair.
Oh my god.
You can read all about my exploits in this exciting London publication.
Oh, yes. Rand's Magazine. Full of wonderful short stories and interesting
That's a
articles from Great
reference.
Britain.
Yeah, that's is it he was like originally published in like magazines, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm. I never miss an issue. I have it sent from England especially.
Yeah, here it is. The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes. So you're the protagonist in a series of short stories then?
Indeed, I am.
God damn, you're pretty. I'm gonna fuck.
Looks like they did give him his nose.
Yeah, he's got his hawk nose.
And you've read so many of your own stories, you've started to think you really are a detective.
Make no mistake, I'm not the poor, deluded fellow you take me for.
Is that my screen or does he have a beauty mark? It's my screen. Never mind. I had dust right on his cheek.
Your inference is backward.
Backward. Yeah, see, you got his
My
nose.
trusty biographer records my greatest detecting achievements and chronicles them in the magazine.
You have a
Thanks, home.
you have a biographer, do you?
Doesn't everyone? Mine goes by the name of Dr. Wilson, presently keeping shop in London.
About that.
Oh no!
Dr. Wilson.
Sorry. Psych just gave me some flare seeds. I must say, thanks to that publication, I've been fantastically busy of late. Why, this very moment I am returning from Asia, having solved the mystery of a cursed royal crown.
Thank you! Really? I can't work out whether I should take this man seriously or not.
Deduction, you see, is to me a science, logical reasoning in its purest form.
Okay.
Science.
Really?
The astute observer notices even the most subtle of reactions in his subject.
I just realized something about my hand tracking and why it might not be as being as good. Had my fucking,
A
headphone.
furtive glance, a twist of a muscle, a slight inclination of the posture.
Uh-huh.
Fingernails, arm sleeves, furs in the skin. All of these things are data.
Right.
And the trained logician makes deductions from this data in the blink of an eye. The ultimate conclusion is, without fail, the truth. As I demonstrated only a few short moments ago.
How can you look me in the eye and claim that?
So you see, I have a turn both for observation and for deduction. And fame. That is what makes me the one and only Herlock Sholmes.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I'm kind of in love with him, actually. They literally were like, okay, take Sherlock, make him a himbo.
But like a
Really
competent
did.
one.
Which, like, I really love that so much better than, like, most of the Sherlock Holmes takes I've seen in the modern era.
Looking at you, Sherlock!
Like, not
He's
you,
like looking
Sherlock.
directly at PC Sherlock.
Not naming names or anything.
No, of course not. Sherlock's just his name. Duh.
Obviously.
Yeah,
obviously.
of course.
Yeah, of course. 1 second, I'm gonna get my drink that Psych just left outside the door for me. BRB.
Oh well, Sophie.
Anyone catch the game last night?
Am I not audible? There we go.
No.
No, there you
There
go.
you are now.
I turned my mic off. I was like, why is my voice tracking not working? And then I realized that my mic was off, and that's why. But anyway, buzzing. So while Herlock Sholmes as a character is established in his own right, the only reason he was established in the first place was because the guy that wrote, I think it was Lupin, he wanted to do a story where it was Lupin versus Sherlock Holmes, but he got slapped by legal. So he just changed the name to Herlock Sholmes. So Herlock Sholmes is really just Sherlock Holmes. I think also that he's just called Sherlock in the Japanese version of this game. So he's just supposed to be Sherlock.
Literally, yeah.
Some strange reason they decided to change it.
Because it was being localized for Western countries.
And, you know,
Sherlock
legal
not
stuff
in
the Western
the
countries.
public domain.
So
Oh!
most, yeah. If we want to get into it, we can get into it. Most Sherlock Holmes
but no.
stories are public domain, but there are like what 2 or 3 that still aren't.
Yeah,
okay,
the
so they
Conan
have to
Doyle
wait for the
estate
whole-
is real stingy.
Yeah, and the Conan Doyle
Okay.
estate is real fucking stingy. So, like, you can get away with a lot because I think the character is technically public domain, but anything that might touch on those 3 stories,
Is not allowed.
Yeah, so
In Japanese law, it's basically like, since the whole canon isn't free real estate, they assume that it's better in Japanese copyright law to just not touch it until all of it is free real estate.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they just were like, we'll just use the fake name. So that's why.
Yeah. Better safe than sorry.
Better safe than sorry. I do think those stories are going to be coming up for public domain in the next few years, though.
Alright.
Have you managed to deduce anything about this particular case yet?
Have I managed to deduce anything? My dear fellow,
But a yes?
who do you suppose discovered the culprit in his most cunning hiding place?
I'm not the
That's right.
Okay.
It was none other than the great detective before you now, Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
Okay. I see. In other words, I'm in these now because of him.
Oh, correct, darling.
When I became anxious about Kazuma-sama this morning, I summoned all the crew members to force the cabin door open.
And I concealed myself amongst their number, gaining entry to the scene of the crime.
Whilst looking like none of them.
Correct. Yes, luckily for everyone, the great detective Herlock Sholmes was on board. And the handcuffs seemed to be an excellent fit, Mr. Naruhodo. The very moment I laid eyes on the scene, 2 facts were immediately apparent to me.
Please do tell. 2 facts, you say? Oh. Mr. Sholmes, tell us, please, what 2 facts were apparent to you when you came into the cabin this morning?
Ah, yes. But first, let us be precise. The 2 facts in question were immediately apparent to me.
Chill. I understand, but what were they?
Allow me to elucidate. The two facts that I deduced from a mere momentary glance at the scene of the crime were as followed. Number 1. The cabin was locked from within, rendering escape of the culprit out of the question.
Okay.
And number 2. The victim was Russian and killed following a dispute with an acquaintance.
No. Hold on, Mr. Sholmes. What made you think the victim was Russian?
I bet it's the writing. Observe the dying message. Oh! Observe the dying message left by the victim on the floor. That is the Russian word for wardrobe.
Tap the pub.
Hold on, opening up Google Translate.
Oh, because we can trust that.
For a single word?
I mean, can you type in these characters?
I can type in
Gadriob.
Tabdipov.
Gadriob. Gadriob. Yes.
Yeah, that word. Anyways, Tabdipov.
Tap the pub. Is it actually Russian for wardrobe?
Yes, it is. This one's Gadriob. Which is kind of a transliteration, I guess.
Do you really think Kazuma-sama could have left a dying message? Oh, wait, that's you, D. God damn it!
Do you really think Kazuma-sama could have left a dying message in Russian?
In their final moments, many find their native tongue filling their head. For this young man, Russian.
He's
Japanese!
He's Japanese! Kazuma was Russian, was he?
Initially, I considered Gardarov may be the name of the killer. A certain Robert Gard, perhaps.
Cool.
Cool! You fucking idiot.
You fucking dumbass. What is wrong with you?
But, in the interest of thoroughness, I decided it would be wrong to at least, not look in the wardrobe. Where you found Mr. Naruhodo sleeping quite soundly.
That's D.
Oh, sorry. We are all taking D's lines. Logan, I'm inheriting this from you somehow via husband link.
Via husband link. The link to your husband.
Marriage.
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 Yay, Maui!
Quite so. I found you, the renowned Russian revolutionary killer.
Can we talk about this statuette in the back going, woo?
What's it doing?
Why is it that I'm Russian too?
Because he's fucking stupid.
I observed that you were wearing the same attire as the victim. In other words, you are acquainted. And if my memory serves, that outfit is the traditional dress of Russian people.
No, it's a Japanese school uniform.
He's so fucking dumb. I love him.
Our
Oh my
school
God.
uniforms are the traditional dress of Russian people? I had no idea.
Oh my god, the stupid is contagious.
The stupid really is contagious.
Oh.
And I had no idea that. There we go, I'm stealing your line now.
I had no idea a detective could get something so wrong.
I took a photograph of the victim in the message that I might analyze, there we go, it for possible hidden details.
None of us can fucking read today, apparently.
Apparently.
This
This was taken immediately after the young man was discovered, but before the body was removed.
Cosmo had already been taken away when I woke up. This is the first time I've actually seen him like this.
Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo?
Oh. Yeah, thanks. Can I ask you something, Mr. Sholmes?
No. What, pray?
You mentioned Russia before as well, didn't you? When you said I was a fearsome revolutionary fleeing from Russia and all that. Oh, he's wearing a bow tie. That's cute.
Ah, yes, the train of
What
reasoning
have I
that led
done?
me to the truth.
Do you mind explaining this train of reasoning to me, do you think?
Certainly, if that interests you.
Coheed.
No, you know
Con-
that's not right.
Kanye
Kanye West, anyway.
West.
Oh,
I know that little H is an N. I know the little H is an N.
Kanye, no, I don't know.
Oh, I
How
was
many-
good.
I'm
Wait,
not
here,
Russian, and I
put on
don't
the
speak
Wait.
Russian.
Hold on, put on the history.
No, it's fine, dude. We're not supposed to understand what it means.
Okay, whatever. Well, it's highlighted in orange. So it's gotta mean something important.
I mean, a lot of stuff got highlighted in orange that I don't think is gonna come back. Like, what was it? The crystal tower that I'm apparently gonna blow up.
Well, you don't know that.
Well, that's true, I guess.
Bleh.
Can we talk about your deduction before the things you concluded about me? I mean,
Ah, the now famously accurate, troubling predicament you find yourself in.
actually, it was the other details that I was more hoping to discuss. You know, the merciless Russian revolutionary and assassin of 16 part.
Ah, yes, the more sound details. It was a fairly commonplace deduction. Here we have this morning's paper. The main headline reads,
That's not.
Revolutionary Violin
yeah.
Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai.
That doesn't even look like me!
Also, I'm Japanese, not Chinese. This vessel made a port call at Shanghai yesterday, and last night, the young Russian was murdered.
He's Japanese. Buzzing said, villain Bolshevik. It's him. It's John Communism. His name is Villain Bolshevik. So since when was Kazuma Russian?
It sounds like Mr. Schultz has concluded he was Russian because of what Kazuma-sama wrote on the floor.
It was a simple act of reason to realize the culprit of this crime was the same merciless revolutionary.
Do I look like him?
One who would kill the very man who helped him escape after his true identity was discovered. Yes, you. Villain Bolshevik.
No. How
He's
could it
so
be me?
stupid!
I don't look anything like this guy.
He's so stupid! Oh my
Well.
god.
You are a fearsome revolutionary after all.
What?
Therefore, you have no doubt learnt to revolutionize your appearance as well.
So stupid!
What?
I am dumbfounded.
He's just dumb, so you know.
I dream of kissing him.
He's so
the one who gave
stupid,
one
I
you
want to
first.
know him carnally.
I want to know him biblically.
Must demand that you one day play a D&D character that is just this.
But stupid? Yeah, you got it.
But it is like that. It is like that headcanon where the reason he's making all the wrong deductions is because he wants everybody else to figure things out for themselves.
Oh no, if you listen to him, I don't actually know how this case ends, but he's picking up on accurate things. He's just
You just
playing
them
the
in wrong
cards
places.
incorrectly.
Yeah.
He has the pins. He's not connecting the strings.
Not for us. He's letting us do that.
Please.
And I might add, your name does not appear on this ship's passenger list. Need I say more?
Well, that's because I'm a stowaway.
I'll say that.
What about the other details? The 16 victims of assassination and blowing up the Crystal Tower?
Ah, yes. The journalist clearly interviewed the man and printed all those particulars in the article. The deeds that man has perpetrated thus far, and those he is plotting. Because those are the sort of things a villain gives to the journalist.
Yeah,
journalist.
the newspaper.
Yes, of course. Yes, everything about this revolutionary Bolshevik was included. There can be no mistake.
John
do revolutionaries
Communism.
usually agree to interviews with newspaper reporters, I wonder?
Thank you. Thank you for being the voice of reason, Sasada. What about the part where you said I was just returning from Afghanistan?
Also quite clearly stated here in this article. Bolshevik has recently returned after a period of subversive activities in a war-torn region of Afghanistan.
If he has already put together all of the pieces, he's literally just doing this to cause problems for fun.
On purpose, yes.
Which I gotta respect him for. I'll be honest.
I mean, my god, have you read Hound of the Baskervilles?
I've not.
Sherlock, I'm not going to spoil anything. Well, I'm going to spoil a small something. Sherlock Holmes sent Watson to take care of this because, quote-unquote, Sherlock Holmes was too busy to go. No, my man was out while Watson was here, living in the home of the Baskervilles, chilling. My man, Holmes, was living in a cave so he could get a separate, a third-person view of this case. An outsider's point of view of a case. And scaring the shit out of Watson the entire time.
Why?
My man causes problems for fun.
I think I'm just gonna go live in a cave.
Please read Hound of the Baskervilles. It is my favorite Sherlock Holmes story. It is the best one.
I think I shall cause problems and scare Watson on purpose. Where even is it anyways? This Afghanistan place.
Isn't Afghanistan like pretty peaceful until it's invaded
Yeah.
by the United States?
Yes!
Yep.
Fucking white people.
Yep.
Here, take the paper. Well, I think it was England actually, but yeah.
One of them.
Here, take the paper for yourself. As a little memento of this great deduction.
There actually, there was a war in Afghanistan in the 19th century. But I think it was, England doing some fuck shit, because, that is actually part of the very first Sherlock Holmes story, is that, Watson was coming back from Afghanistan.
Mm-hmm.
That was one thing, BBC Sherlock did that I was like, oh, that's kind of neat, is that they just tied it into modern day because they could have the exact same thing happen.
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
Oh, thank you.
I've absorbed all that is of interest to me within its pages, but I see no rubbish bin nearby.
His name is literally Villain Bolshevik.
You may find the article in the back of the page of interest as well.
Oh, yeah. Buzzing says, if I remember correctly, Afghanistan was jointly fucked over by Britain and Russia, and they literally called it the, quote, Great Game or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
In the back.
Cast your eye over it sometimes if the interest takes you, though you may need someone to interpret.
Loud rats drinking water in the background.
Sip, 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 sip.
It's all written in Russian. I couldn't hope to read it. But I suppose it wouldn't hurt just to glance at the article. Maybe there might be a picture or two.
Wait. Hit history. He knows. No,
Oh
look
my
right there.
god, he really is
Look
just
right there.
causing problems on purpose, you little
Cast
fucker.
your eye over it. Sometimes, if the interest takes you, you may need someone to interpret. It's all written in Russian.
He's just fucking with you. He's literally just fucking with you.
He is here to cause problems on purpose.
It is wonderful that you're using your Frederick voice for him now.
Oh my god. Oh my
It
god.
is so fucking hilarious and fitting.
This is interesting.
Have you found something relevant, Naruhodo-san?
Well, no, I mean, it looks like it might be interesting.
I can't read a single word, I'm afraid.
No, nor can I, but look at this picture. Perhaps it's about a beautiful young Russian princess, do you think?
She is very pretty, isn't she? I suppose you enjoy articles like this, do you?
I don't know, I can't make any sense of it.
Pushes Susato out of the way.
Ah, I'm glad you've noticed this article. Allow me to give you a short summary of its contents.
Thanks! It pops up everywhere, this, Mr. Sholmes.
It's about the disappearance of a young lady last night. Renowned prima ballerina of the Novovich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. During a performance in Shanghai, the famous dancer was reported missing.
Oh?
She is, of course, the talented young Nikolina Pavlova.
Why are Russian names so hard to remember?
It would appear that the woman was in costume when she was found to be missing from her dressing room. Wearing the diamond tiara you see pictured, which is worth some 20,000 rubles, which, to be fair, with the current state of the Russian economy is like 35 cents in a pack of gum.
That's inflation, baby!
Oh no, I'm making a joke because of all the sanctions against Russia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much is
Yeah.
20,000 rubles?
I have no idea, but I'm quite sure it must be an unbelievable sum of money.
2 packs of gum.
Sasada-san's eyes are shining like diamonds themselves.
The tiara is the property of the Novovich Ballet. It would seem the director is beside herself with worry.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
The company is most anxious to recover both Miss Pavlova and the valuable tiara. They've requested international assistance at all ports, with sailings to Great Britain.
Could this be another case of a Russian fleeing his or her country?
It does seem to be the Russian thing to do.
I'm not even going to dignify that with a response, Mr. Naruhodo.
But no, it's a good point, because that was actually a thing in another Lupin story as well.
Yeah,
Oh, she's so pretty.
I so can't believe he's just fucking with us.
He's literally just fucking with us, and that's killing me.
It's so fucking funny. I'm afraid I can't read a word of Russian.
No, me neither. I have no idea what any of this says.
The pair of you floundering is a sorry sight. Allow me to offer some assistance. The article on the front page of this newspaper is concerned with a fearsome Russian revolutionary. It reads, "Revolutionary villain Bolsheviks flees Russia via Shanghai."
Yeah, you told us that before.
It reveals also that those who see the man's beard with their own eyes never live to tell the tale. Oh man, that whole port he walked through, everybody's dead, right?
Oh my god, the guy that took the photo.
No. everybody reading the newspaper. Excuse yourself.
Well, presumably the newspaper photographer was alright, wasn't he?
The solution is obvious, of course. If he despises his beard to that degree, he need only shave it off.
I'm not quite sure that's the problem, Mr. Sholmes. I think that's everything. At least for that bit.
Oh wait, go back. No, fuck. I'm mixing up all my buttons.
Oh, presents that to Mr. Sholmes.
I'm a student. Before we started talking, you were examining Kazuma's desk, weren't you?
Kazuma. Ah, yes, the victim.
Did you notice anything useful? Anything at all?
Observe for a moment the desktop of the victim.
I'm gonna screen cap that. I'm gonna make it my second desktop background so it points to my first desktop.
Goodbye, other penumbra.
It's gonna be Penumbra, and then Sherlock, and then underneath him, White Timothy.
Telling a hot pocket.
Oh my god.
We see that the victim was engaged in penning some text. London Diary. Kazuma's keeping notes of the trip.
Kazuma is keeping notes of the trip.
I liked you, not me.
We keep stealing each other's lines.
I get so excited.
But I don't think you should read his private writings. It could upset people.
Tragic. I'm something you ought to perhaps elucidate before the act of reading.
Uh-huh. You mean you've read it already?
It is my business to know what other people do not. Yes, believe it or not, I know a smattering of Japanese.
I see. Well, you're about to know what Susato Takedown is. Susato-san? Aren't you gonna throw the detective with one of your trademark takedowns?
I'm sorry, Naruto-san. What on earth do you mean?
You flipped me like a goddamn pancake 3 times! Life is unfair.
Anyway, to return to the matter at hand, namely, the diary belonging to the victim. It would appear the final sentence is incomplete, as if the author were cut short, if you catch my drift. Tell me, what is the nature of the writing? And pray, be precise as to details.
Oh, but I thought you knew Japanese.
A smattering, dear boy, a smattering. Sayonara, bonsai, mikado. Nado nado. I trust you're suitably impressed.
Yeah, suitably. Ha.
But this diary is littered with complicated-looking characters, of which I can read precisely none.
Like,
Oh, God, I
I'm
want.
so in love with him. He's
I
so
wa-
stupid.
I want to take his face in my hands and shake him very gentle. What was all that showing off about before then?
you would be so kind as to show me, I would be happy to read it to you, Mr. Holmes.
What the fuck?
I'm much obliged, my dear madam.
I like how they put a lot of effort into animating him.
Yeah.
The final entry here in Kazuma-sama's diary consists of just 2 short sentences. The first reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling.
It's the Speckled Band!
It is the Speckled
sorry.
Band. That's the name of this one.
I didn't know that. I wasn't here. Oh my god, it's the Speckled Oh my god!
It's the Speckled Band.
Oh, Hey, sister, soul sister, let me get that dough, sister.
That was incredibly adorable.
I'm so in love. Like, just a moment, I can hear a faint whistling sound. Mosh just.
I should have known it was the Speckled Band from the fact it was a locked room from the inside, but I was like, oh, maybe they're doing a just different, like, Great Ace Attorney thing. But no, it's just the Speckled Band on a boat.
Yeah, a lot of the Great Ace Attorney ones were just very, very heavily inspired by Sherlock Holmes stories.
You're right. Oh, you know what? It should have been clear with me with the closed room and the vent and the bell cord. That should have been the giveaway. I'm a fool. I'm not a real Sherlock Holmes fan. I gotta go. I gotta go. You'll never see me again. I'm packing up and leaving.
Is that a bone on the floor?
I think it's Food King.
Oh. Oh yeah, it's like probably like a turkey leg. A whistling sound.
These are very deep waters. Pray, go on.
The second sentence reads, 1:35 a.m. What looks to be some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill.
A speckled band? What on earth does that mean?
Oh, he probably got. If it was a snake, he probably got bit.
He probably got bit by a fucking snake.
I have no idea. I never heard that expression before.
Ventilator grill, you say? The man was presumably referring. To the lattice there on the wall, which connects to the adjoining cabin.
Yeah, the adjoining cabin. I thought
Well,
we were
I've
gonna turn
solved
back
it, lad.
and he was gone.
Time to go. So, I believe I've given you enough to consider for the time being, at least.
Do you have somewhere to go?
As it happens, the victim's writings in his diary have piqued my interest.
Hoo-ha!
The matter warrants further investigation, I believe, and if I am still too long, the seasickness takes hold.
He is such a weenie. Oh, I suppose you're thinking of investigating the cabin next door, which the ventilator connects to.
Great detectives are a curious breed. Our minds rebel at stagnation. We crave mental exaltation. So, yes, I intend to investigate. Hence, the truth will become clear soon enough.
Do you think perhaps we could go with you?
No, that would be somewhat complicated.
Bitch? But why?
A simple glance at your wrist should reveal the answer.
Oh, these.
After all, you're the prime suspect in this matter. No?
There's no point in trying to turn it into a question. You're the one that decided I was the culprit in the first place.
Whatever do you mean? I have no recollection of naming you at the culprit at any point.
You literally... Okay. You gotta be joking. You just said it only like a moment ago.
Dear me, you are clearly excited. I would have no cause to say such a thing.
Well, actually, Mr. Sholmes, I did hear you say that too.
Is he gaslighting me?
You're quite sure? Well, that's very strange.
This man has ADHD and autism.
I wouldn't have said you had the face of a criminal, you know. Not really.
So what, were you looking at my knees before? Some great detective you are.
Well, anyway, that was then, and this is now.
What do you mean?
Case afoot, dear boy. What I mean, sir, is this. If you are the culprit, then you must play the part more convincingly. Roll over and accept your fate.
Now he's just being plain rude. And he's a ghost. Off he goes, having just laughed in my face. His sense of humor is as twisted as his name.
Naruhodo-san, what are you just standing here for?
Hmm?
We must go and investigate the cabin next door as well.
Aren't you forgetting something? What about these? There's no way.
Yeah! Your Kazuma-sama spent his dying moments struggling to leave you us a clue. You're willing to give up? You're just going to roll over and accept your fate?
You know, I thought you were gonna karate chop these off of me.
He says that laying on the ground.
So if you just gave me any choice in the rolling over part. I think we still have some investigation to finish off in here first, don't we? Let's carry on examining what we can in this cabin while we wait for a chance to slip next door.
Good idea.
Situation doesn't look good for me, but there are still things I can do to help myself. I owe it to Kazuma to discover everything I can to find a way out of this and bring the real culprit to justice. Alright. Alright.
Oh, wow.
Anyways, I've solved it. Can we go on to the next one?
No, we gotta play through this one first. What do you think this is? It looks like a broken piece of glassware. Poorly timed yawn. Oh, I also have a soda now, so I can finally get some caffeine in my system. And Syke was really cool and got me the big soda.
Nice.
Whatever this thing was, it appears to have broken clean in two.
The glass is such a beautiful color. It looks like a cute little Natsuki fastener from the kimono outfit.
I'm not sure that sounds like Kazuma. He wouldn't have secretly carried a cute little trinket around like this with him, would he?
It's a bell.
And the mark beside it. What is it? I wonder if it's... It has a sort of brick-like hue.
Yeah, you're right. It's the color of a brick, isn't it? Even though I don't see anything the same color anywhere else in the cabin. That's my dinner from last night, a roast chicken. It was really tasty.
I love how sometimes It's like, oh, this is clearly in thoughts, and like it implies that they're just saying it out loud. It's so fucking funny.
Yeah.
Yes, it was very delicious, wasn't it? But did you eat it on the floor here?
I'm not a dog, says Otto. I ate at the table. Which begs the question of when and how the plate ended up on the floor.
But Kazuma-sama didn't like chicken at all, did he?
No, that's right, so he didn't touch it. Which meant all the more for me.
Oh no, does that mean poor Kazuma-sama spent his last night on Earth with an empty belly? It's just so horrible.
Now I suddenly have a guilty conscience and an achy stomach.
Oh, that's me. There's nothing on this table at all. The plate and cutlery are all over the floor for some reason.
Yeah, it's strange. Last night when I went to sleep, I'm sure everything was still. No, wait a minute.
What is it?
That's funny. I can't seem to remember anything about what happened after dinner at all.
So then perhaps you are responsible for what happened to Kazuma-san.
No! Oh, his sword.
Sword. That's Kazuma-sama's precious sword. He never went anywhere without it.
Yeah, he was always saying that a Japanese man's katana is his soul.
I think he had to work very hard to convince the government to allow him to bring it on the ship.
I suppose that just shows how important it was to him. Now he's gone, but I'm not ready to let his spirit go just yet. The books have fallen over on the shelf. Look, they've all toppled the same way.
And what's this? A statue of some god of the sea? Although it's fallen over as well.
It's almost as if the whole shelf has been ransacked and everything mown down at once.
I wonder if... Perhaps it was Kazuma-san's doing this morning's sword training, do you think?
I seriously doubt it.
Then perhaps... It was you, Naruhodo-san? If it had breached?
I wouldn't have bothered leaving the wardrobe just to mess up a few books and a statue. Could the way these things have been thrown about have anything to do with the case, I wonder?
Well, I'll just set everything straight again. I don't like to see a mess. Don't touch it!
Hmm. Oh, I fucked up. No. These are the rules of passage for travel aboard the SS Buria.
It's essentially a list of requests from the captain to all passengers on board.
Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. What? Why are you staring at me?
Oh, sorry, I was just thinking. Are you more of a dangerous object or a pet?
Yeah, both.
I can't decide.
I'm both. I'm a dangerous pet. Well, one thing's for sure. Either way, I wasn't supposed to be in here. Urasigi, the Japanese word for justice that I just probably mispronounced really bad. Brushstrokes are straight and true, just like Kazuma.
Yes, his calligraphy was always blah. Cannot fucking read apparently. Always was a reflection of his heart. Yet can you really look at those characters without feeling shame, knowing who drew them so thoughtfully?
Of course I can. I mean, I'm innocent, so why shouldn't I be able to?
Even though you stowed away on the ship?
He told me to! Now you're gonna bring that up, are you? I can't win. Excuse me. Ah, he teleported. What? Or, Sprite, do you want to do the guy? You just been sitting
sure.
here this whole time.
What?
I was wondering if I could ask you a favor. Do you mind if I investigated a little outside?
Grandmother told me Japanese people do not make jokes, but it is not true, I see.
Sorry?
The criminal asking prison guard to help him escape? Very funny.
We're in the middle of the sea. There is no chance of me escaping.
Nets! You stay in this cabin until next port. Then it is up to Hong Kong police to decide what they do with you.
Jesus Christ, Cheesecake.
He's yelling. You stay.
Alright. No point trying to appeal to this man's better nature, that's for sure. He's got jaundice.
When I went for help and the crewman forced the door open, this bolt had been firmly closed.
It's quite a small bolt, and not particularly sturdy. Just slides across to secure the door shut. Still, with the door bolted, there would have been no way to get in or out of the cabin, that's for sure. It's no wonder everyone suspects me. She glares at me like that, I tense all- I feel tense all up and down my spine. I remember reading once in a detective novel, the culprit used a needle and a thread to draw a bolt across from outside the room in a situation like this.
Yes, that's a clever trick, isn't it? I'm an avid reader of detective stories myself. But the door of this cabin and its frame are made of metal, and they seal together perfectly. There would be no possibility of using that needle and thread trick here, I'm afraid.
When she glares at me like that, I feel pins and needles all up and down my spine. Oh, look over there. Is that... Hold on.
Wait,
Nah.
the
Play it.
crewman,
Do it.
do you mean?
Do it.
He wasn't there before, was he?
That's what I thought.
Why don't we try talking to him?
Probably because I'm likely to get yelled at again. But I suppose I could try. It's him, I just know it is.
Please.
His stupid fucking hair.
Is that...
Yes!
Mm-hmm.
Is something wrong, Naruto-san?
Oh, no, it's just that crewman's... Can't help feeling like I've seen him somewhere before.
Yes! It's him!
It's him!
It's him!
Oh my god.
Right, he does look
Sherlock
familiar.
Holmes, the master of.
No, it's not Sherlock, it's the fucking guy
Oh,
with the
it's also
fucking
not-
consumption.
Oh wait, shit! The way he's holding his arm. No.
Yeah, buddy!
Yes! Excuse me, sir?
That does make sense.
Yes. What can I do for you?
They both have the hawk nose I love so dearly. Oh my god, that's that bitch!
Why why are you here?
It's so silly.
And why are you dressed up in a little sailor's outfit, sir?
He just needs a little lollipop. Hang on, wait. Let me get a picture of this. Let me get a picture of
Someone
this. Let me get a picture of this.
photoshopping a
Let me get a
fucking
picture of this.
lollipop
Yes,
in his
okay.
hand.
Baby.
Do you need me to send you that screen cap?
No, I got it.
Oh. I recognize that face, but it can't be.
He is our gumshoe.
It is!
I didn't know you were here, Inspector Hosonaga.
He's just got a red stain on his sleeve.
Hello again.
What are you doing here?
I think that should be my line. I was so stunned when I saw you, my heart stopped.
That's not good. Nearly stopped, I hope.
I received some special orders to go undercover as a member of the crew and board the ship.
Again?
You certainly seem to enjoy undercover work, Inspector. He really is our gumshoe.
If there's anything I can do to help you, please ask.
Never expected to see this man on board. Perhaps his presence can help me out of his hopeless situation. You gotta get that checked out, man.
Man.
Oh. No. Fuck.
1 second.
Ah, fuck, god damn it. So what are your special orders this time, Inspector? DBRB. Yes, and why are you dressed as a member of the crew?
I'm so sorry.
Hmm?
This is all my fault. I take full responsibility.
Holy shit.
Good lord, Cheesecake.
Why is he crying?
He's
don't know.
wailing. Also, I gave him a lollipop.
Oh, I have to see this.
Yeah, but-
Oh no, oh no. Hold on, I've got to show the stream this.
yeah.
I gotta show this at the stream. Cheesecake, shut up. Cheesecake, shut up. Sprite did us all a favor, you guys. He's got a lollipop now.
He's got a lollipop.
I can put it.
You just gotta crop it a little bit.
Oh my god, I can just let me
You
just
just like
just do this.
Perfect.
Oh my
Yes!
god. It blends in seamlessly. Oh my god. Wait, hold up again. Oh my god, hold on. Edit transform. Crop bottom. By like let's say 200. I don't know, make it like 175. Maybe 165. Perfect. Okay. Close. He's just... This is so good. What the fuck?
Well, you gotta like resize it a bit.
There we go.
I'm just watching this from this.
No, that's too small. Like, Jesus Christ, Cheesecake is still going off. Why is he so upset? Maybe if I think this is about as good as I'm gonna get it, unfortunately. I can also Fucking amazing. Okay.
I live.
Hi, D. Sprite made us a thing that I can put on top of the screen.
Naga.
Thank you, Sprite. It's nearly
So-
perfect.
It was Minister of Justice Jikoku who pushed for this overseas study tour to go ahead. I hope I said that right, Jikoku. And he entrusted me with ensuring that Asoki-san reached Great Britain without being assassinated.
Assassinated? How could that even be a possibility?
I'm not sure.
Oh, wait.
Wrong room.
But these are complicated times. There are tensions between the world's greatest powers. Minister Jikoku said that we should be prepared for all eventualities.
This is incredible.
I don't believe it. Kazuma-san was assassinated?
Obviously, we couldn't give Asogi-san a visible security escort. Which is why I'm undercover now, posing as one of the crew.
I see.
And I didn't take my eyes off him the entire time we've been on board. From morning until night, every day. But I never imagined it would happen here, inside his own cabin. Not here on the first class deck.
I keep looking at the lollipop. It really is so perfect.
Failed miserably at my assignments, and Asogi-san is dead as a
Coupled
result.
with this sad expression. The
No,
lollipop.
he looks like a kicked puppy.
He really does.
I'm a disgrace. All I can do is humbly apologize.
Inspector.
So if there's anything at all that I can do to help you now, just say the word.
We're doing what we can to investigate Kazuma's death ourselves.
I
Right?
thought you might be. You didn't do it, did you? You're not the killer.
Of course not.
He'd really like to investigate the cabin next door.
Yes, so we need to be allowed out of this cabin.
I'm sorry.
What?
You've been deemed a risk to the ship's safety. If you move to even touch the handle of the cabin door, that stormy-looking seaman which there would surely snap your neck right in two.
Stormy looking seaman? I want to get that checked out.
Oh my god. Oh my god. We are on a stream!
It's fine when I do it.
It looks like it normally.
Hey!
Suppose I'm not just a stowaway now. They think I'm a murderer as well.
Would it be possible to give me something to work with, do you think? I'm gonna need something persuasive.
What do you mean? I mean,
If I had-
Warlock is in there.
Oh fuck.
I do everything I could to persuade the captain to allow it. Really, I'd lay my life on the line if I had to.
I don't see how.
There may be a way.
What? Really?
Think of how you tried to persuade me of your innocence, Narco-san. By presenting me with a piece of evidence that you already had in your possession.
Evidence.
Whatever you have in there, just present it, my dude. It's just the same way when you're in court. You must have done it many times during your trial. Yeah, we know.
Oh,
we know.
tutorial.
Yep.
already
Yeah, I
did
know.
this.
Yep. Yep.
We already know.
Yep. All right. Yeah, I think I might know what we can use. Yep. I know how the game works. I know how the game works.
Never gets
It
the
hasn't
game
been that
hard,
long
can't
since
do
you
it
played.
really- It really doesn't need to.
Just making sure.
It's so funny.
I love this game.
Little hat!
It's got a little hat. Wait, no, hold up.
I love his little outfit!
He's so stupid looking.
He's so stupid looking.
Oh my god.
Just this sickly little fucking guy in a itty bitty sailor suit.
I have to.
Yeah, we already went through this.
Yeah.
Oh, reason, yes.
Wait. Okay, yep.
Yep.
How do I? Okay, but how do? Is it like a? Ah, I see. I had to actually go to the present tab.
What's that?
Kazuma's diary.
Just before he died, Cosmo-san wrote something rather strange in his diary.
Strange? In what way?
He wrote, "What looks like some kind of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill."
A speckled band. That is strange.
We're still trying to work out what he meant by that, but what I'd like to know is,
Don't tell me. The ventilator, is it?
You're very astute, Inspector.
The ventilator clearly joins to the next door cabin.
That's right. So if we could investigate in there, we might be able to work out what the speckled band was.
Alright then. I can't leave this cabin at the moment. I'm stuck here until we arrive at the next port. The captain has given me strict orders to guard the scene of the crime, you see. I'll have to entrust the investigation to you.
Really? You're willing to do that?
Yes, as long as you don't leave the first-class cabin area. I'm afraid I can't remove those handcuffs, though.
But what about the captain? Aren't you going against his direct orders? Oh, damn.
I'm a man of my word. And I promise you that I'll lay my life on the line if that's what it takes to convince the captain. After all, I failed to keep Isogi-san safe. This is the least I can do.
Thank you.
Let's seize the moment then, Naruhodo-san. Just like, yeah, we know.
Yep. The game. The game.
Oh, video game. Oh, video game.
Can I show you this newspaper, Inspector?
I'm sorry, but I can't read Russian very well.
Oh, no, that's alright. I know what it says.
So you just wanted to point out your university-level linguistic talents, is that it?
No! Sorry?
Nothing like me with my regular old schooling. You're something much greater. Is that what you were trying to say?
No! Sorry. Forget I mentioned it.
He's fucking Hosonaga bitch moments, god!
Love him.
I think he's jelly.
So much.
I'm finally out of that cabin.
Why is there a mouse trap?
I have to admit, this is not quite what I was expecting. It's less spacious here than I thought it would be. And this is the most luxurious accommodation.
Yes. Kazuma-sama was being sent to study tour by the government. Yep, we all know this. That's why he was being put up in the first class cabin. Even still, this is about twice as large as my accommodation in the steerage.
Really? That must be awful. Ah! Oh, look over there. Wait. Hold on.
Are you thinking the same thing?
Wait just a fucking moment.
Look at that. Yeah. No. Look at the photo, please. I want to see his nose. I don't think so.
No.
No, it's just one of the default models, I think.
Not quite. Oh, look over there.
That's the same guy we saw in the intro.
Yeah, that is the same guy. I didn't trust that guy quite so much because he was acting really dodgy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's another crewman keeping watch, and he looks enormous, even if he is sitting down.
Sorry, this is my husband.
And he's man-spreading like crazy.
The door next to him leads to the second class accommodations. I suppose just making sure that no one comes in here who shouldn't.
I suppose, like, people in handcuffs.
Naruhodo-san, you look like a little boy visiting a toy shop for the first time. I would have thought you'd be used to the ship by now. We've been at sea for 2 weeks already. You know he was just
I've been in a wardrobe.
Only in that room. You know this. He told you this.
Well, yeah, I know, but the thing is, I was inside Kazuma's trunk when I first came aboard. And ever since then, I've been shut up inside that little wardrobe.
It must have been a very trying time.
Please, don't give me that pitying look. Oh, wait. Oh, every damn time.
Ah, a trap for catching mice.
Yeah, we have plenty of those back home in Japan. Although they seem to be using a lump of chalk or something as bait.
Let me see. Yes, I think that's what's called cheese. It's made from the milk of cows.
What? Cheese? I wonder what that tastes like.
Oh, yeah, they don't
You
have
can't
enough
eat it,
cheese over there.
Naruhodo-san. This trap will snap your shut on your fingers.
Really? But I suppose you're right.
You weren't actually going to try it, were you?
No, all I've had to eat for the past couple of weeks is Kazuma's leftovers. You don't know how hungry I've been in that wardrobe.
Or you. I'll find a little snack for you later.
How sweet.
Oh,
Imagine, POV, you're a dead man and your exes are getting together. Well, I mean, I guess your widowed partners are getting together.
First class cabin number 1. That's our cabin.
Not our cabin. It's Kazuma-sama's.
No, our cabin, comrade.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry?
Your accommodation is confined to the wardrobe inside of the cabin.
You know how to make a stowaway feel small, don't you? As small as the wardrobe I've been calling home.
These cabins are the finest on the ship. My own cabin in steerage is number 539, by the way.
500 and... How many cabins are there? What do you think this is? It's a very pleasing shape, isn't it?
That's the emergency alarm. It's probably best not to touch it.
Oh, an alarm.
It says press only in times of emergency. It looks as though it sets alarm bells ringing all over the ship and brings the vessel to a complete stop.
Oh, I wonder if that's gonna come back later.
Moss is just like,
Moss knowingly crunching sunflower seeds.
what are you doing now, Naruhodo-san? You mustn't touch it! You're just about to be like, I'm gonna poke it.
This is an emergency! Look at these handcuffs!
You know full well that's not what the alarm is for. If you were to bring the vessel to a standstill for no good reason, you'd be in an even worse situation.
I wish everything would just stop. The ship included.
If you have to do something foolish, at least make it something that doesn't affect anyone else.
This is it. Cabin next to ours. The one the ventilator connects to.
Yes, the ventilator from which Kazuma-sama wrote that he saw a speckled band emerging.
Maybe whoever's in this cabin can help solve that particular mystery. Let's ask. Ah!
Oh!
Oh my god, he's got like a... Ooh, I can see his belly button.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh my god, hi. Hi.
Oh my god.
Hi. How are you doing?
Oh, hello! I am single! You are Russian soldier, yes? Yes, I am single and willing to mingle. Wholehearted.
Okay.
How are you doing? Jesus Christ, his eyes.
You know what? Actually, now that I'm getting a good look at him, it might be him.
Keep it rolling. Come on.
Just fucking,
The nose in right in the face shape. Now, it could be hidden beneath the beard.
It could
But it
also
just
be
doesn't get-
the angle.
Yeah.
Could be. But I don't know.
Huh. Huh. Excuse me, we need to get inside this cabin here.
He skipped leg day.
The sailor's eyes speak volumes. They're clearly saying, keep out.
They suck my
That's what
dick
I
if
wrote
they
on the
want.
sign we put over the wardrobe doors. Well, this man's version is definitely more effective.
It doesn't look like he's going to let us pass.
There's something on his face. That's the problem. Like, see him face?
See? Him face.
There's some, like his face. There's something wrong with it.
See? Him face.
Got like a weird
like a
ass
weird
farmer's
farmer's
tan.
tan.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is what I mean when I say my husband and Dee have something unknowable going on between them.
He's my bud. Excuse me, but can I ask you something?
You did a stowaway murderer.
Okay. That wasn't a good start, was it?
No. All right. Let me try instead. Good day, Mr. Sailor. I'm sorry for troubling you, but could I perhaps ask something of you?
You little third-class ladies' maids.
Wow. Asshole.
I am going to kill you now.
You seem to have caught the sailor on a bad day, Suzato-san.
I'm not sailor. My mother gave me name. I'm senior crewman Biff Stroganoff.
Oh, you sure are beefy, my darling.
Beef stroganoff!
Duh. What's
I'd
wrong
like
with
to
me?
beef
Why so
stroke
funny?
you off, if you know what I mean.
Muss!
What does this one mean? What did I
But not to worry, you'll find out tonight.
Beef
say?
stroganoff.
Biff Stroganoff. Good lord.
I love Ace Attorney. The best thing is just to avoid eye contact, I think. Mr. Stroganoff.
Stroking off.
About this first class cabin area.
Here we in the finest part of Buria steamship for very important persons.
What sort of very important persons?
Government officials, kings and queens traveling in secret, many important persons. That is why I'm always guarding this place.
In your little sailor outfit?
Ah,
Clearly way too small.
my sailor outfit's not little. It's a big outfit for a big man. Da?
Hey, I can see your midriff a little bit. I don't know if it's big enough for you.
It is part of the appeal.
Oh my god. That's amazing.
But somehow I did stupid story inside. I want to pick you up and throw you in the ocean. But Stroganoff is not the animal.
Could
No,
be.
no, it's pasta.
Pasta with some meat
You
in it.
are beef stroganoff, so there is an animal in there somewhere.
Could the animal be in?
Thank you.
If I may, I was wondering, is the cabin next to Mr. Asogi's currently occupied?
Ah,
Sazada-san, did you understand that?
It sounded like da. I think it's probably Russian for yes. Or no.
it means yes.
Genius.
It is not permitted to visit other cabins without invitation.
Well, it sounds like there's somebody in the next door cabin at least.
Yes. It's tantalizing.
Could you tell us who's traveling in the cabin next to Mr. Asogi's?
His name is Mr. Grimsby Roylotts. He is very important Western gentleman.
Grimsby Roylott. Grimsby Roylott. Hmm. Okay. Western gentleman.
Do not think about it. He has nothing to do with murder of student boy.
How can you be so sure about that?
Mr. Roylott is authentic Western gentleman. Such a man would have no interest in luring student from insignificant Far East Islands.
Wow, you are very racist. That's harsh.
Could you tell us when Mr. Royla came aboard?
It is none of your business.
Thanks. Come to think of it, even though we've been at sea for 2 weeks now, and I've been to Kazuma's cabin the entire time, I've never once heard anything from the next door cabin. I haven't felt like there's anyone there. It's just a cabin full of snakes.
Suspicious?
That's weird.
It's just like a whole fucking cabin full of snakes.
So many adders.
we walk in and Herlock is wrestling with them.
I was like, ah! Well, presumably, since the gentleman is occupying one of the first-class cabins, he must be rather important. Is that right?
That's not your business.
Are you on watch here all the time? Seaman Stroganoff?
Oh, you like to see men stroganoff, huh? Is that what you're telling me?
Yes! I fucking guess! Out of time. So criminals like you cannot come in or get out.
They not have anybody else on the watch? Is it just you? Or
I I wonder, could you tell us anything about last night at all? No.
It is set about student boy.
Were you on watch last night as well?
Of course.
Did you notice anything at the time? Anything unusual?
Niet.
Sazada-san, do you understand that?
It was clearly a no.
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 Niet means
Yeah.
no. It's nothing at all. I said nothing unusual. Nothing at all.
And you didn't hear any strange noises or sense anything was wrong in some way?
Why is he looking that way? I said no.
Why don't I believe?
I think he was sleeping. Sorry.
Should be, little man.
Not so sure. I could have sworn he wouldn't catch my eye. I could have sworn that he wouldn't catch my eye for a moment there.
This is enough. I can't say more now.
Oh.
It is time for me to report the captain. You must return to cabin.
Yeah, alright.
Turkey at the second class area is staying locked at all times. You escape when the lobster whistles on top of the mountain. Or as the English say, when the pigs fly.
Google, is that a real Russian saying? Because that would be great.
Probably.
Hey Siri.
Hey, Siri. Hold on, I can actually.
Oh my god.
Hey, Siri.
Good evening.
What does... What does when the lobster whistles on top of the mountain mean?
Sorry, I didn't catch that. You can also try spelling it.
What does when the lobster whistles on top of the mountain mean?
Here's what I found.
My top 10 Russian phrases that confuse my American husband. Yeah, it's legit.
Okay.
That is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I understand.
Good. Now we can investigate this area properly, shall we?
Definitely. Definitely. The book on top of the table there really is huge. That's a pin with it, too.
Yes, I'm sure that. I'm sure that's the ship's log.
Shall we have a little look through it?
We a little bit of look-see. The writing is so neat and precise. Every detail about the voyage has been meticulously recorded.
You wouldn't expect a rough and ready sailor to have such beautiful handwriting.
Anyway, look here. Last night's log is mostly blank.
Presumably that means there was nothing to report.
Not
That's
necessarily
suspicious.
just didn't record it.
This is it. This is the cabin next to ours. One the ventilator connects to.
Yes, the ventilator from which Kazuma-san Sama wrote that
We
he
read
saw a
this.
speckled man.
It's gonna be Herlock.
Warlock's like, hello!
It's just covered in snakes. He opens the door and like 5 snakes slither out underneath him. He's like, damn
God.
it.
No answer.
Oh.
We're out of luck, it seems. There's no one in there to help with our queries.
How annoying.
Yeah. Ah!
What was
hang on,
that?
I'm
It came from inside the cabin.
Such a high-pitched scream. It must have been a woman.
I think this is... Stand aside! It's him.
Oh, my turn. I'm coming. I'm ready. I'm about to break the door down.
Mr. Sholmes!
I shan't be stopped. When the fit is on me, I revel in kicking doors off their hinges.
He tries to kick the door and he just, like, throws himself backwards on accident. Please wait, Mr. Sholmes. The door doesn't seem to be bolted.
I'm kicking it anyway.
It doesn't? Then how the deuce can I dispatch this muscular urge? What, pray, can I kick?
I think we should go in. There's no time to think about stress relief.
My god, I love him. He's so fucking stupid.
It's
Oh,
him.
yeah, yeah.
Another Russian sprite.
Who are you?
A Western gentleman. This man looks Russian to me. We heard a woman scream.
The woman, don't be absurd.
Why are you wearing mittens?
As you can see, there's nobody but me in this cabin.
True, this old man does appear to be the only person in here. But in that case, who just screamed? Oh, hey,
Get out, all of you, now!
his things are knocked over in the same way.
You do not see anything. Get out now.
Please, excuse the intrusion, but you're Mr. Grimsby Roylott, I believe?
That's gotta be a pun.
Yes, that's me. And you are?
I am the one and only, the actual Herlock Sholmes. You've heard of me, no doubt.
No.
I am a great detective amongst great detectives, one who adorns the cover of popular magazines, no less. So I assure you, you must trust me completely.
That man uses the magazine like a business card.
A detective. I do not trust detectives. Gee, I wonder why.
We distinctly heard a scream emanating from within these walls. But there wouldn't appear to be a lady concealing herself within the wardrobe this time.
This time.
So, might I be so bold as to ask you to open that small traveling case?
Ugh, don't be stupid. How could anyone fit in a stall trunk like that?
Well, it's quite fashionable these days, is it not? Traveling inside one's trunk.
Is that at me? Don't look at me. Oh, it's wiggling.
Why, did you see that, Mr. Naruhodo?
The case just shook.
Leave, now. Otherwise I'll call the steward.
This is Cosmo's neighbor, Mr. Grimsby Roylott. There's no doubt about it. Strange Russian man is hiding something.
Couldn't agree more. Let's see if we can find some clues before that burly sailor returns.
He tells us leave now and we just hang around and examine shit. I think because it is 8:30, I am gonna call it. Hi, Jay. Oh my God, Jay just got here.
Hi, Jay.
Hi, Jay.
Hello.
Yeah, you got here right as I'm about to wrap, but thank you for coming anyways. And thank you everybody else for coming out. I had a really awesome time. I will be seeing you guys next week. We'll be doing Tuesday Ace Attorney, Wednesday. It's up in the air what we're gonna be doing Wednesday. Either Pokemon or might do some Wobble Dogs. I love you so much, Jay. Thank you. I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.